This is The Dish, a podcast celebrating Michigan's incredible culinary talent. I'm Mercedes Mejia. Today, we're talking about fry bread, the kind that draws lines at powwows. It's made by a mother-daughter team who run a food truck called Raphael Foods.
Wasinade Raphael.
Hello, I'm Tanya Raphael. I'm the owner. I work the food truck with two of my daughters.
You might find them parked at a tribal event in northern Michigan. They serve Indian tacos on piping hot and pillowy fry bread. Producer Ronia Kabansag caught up with Tanya and her daughter Wasinade in Peshawbestown, a small village between Suttons Bay and Omena, where they live and cook, to learn more about the family business.
What's the biggest hit on the menu when you go to these events?
It's a toss-up right now between the Indian tacos, wet burritos. We make a lot of fry bread. I can go through over 200 pounds of flour at a powwow. And that's a 2-day powwow. We get into the 3 days and it's a little bit more.
Ronia is here with me now. Hey, Ronia.
Hi, Mercedes.
I love that you found fry bread in Michigan. As you know, I grew up eating fry bread in New Mexico. And, you can always find it at the state fair, or we'd stop at a side road stand on the way to the mountains. Just a little powdered sugar and honey on top. So good.
That sounds good.
How did you find out about Raphael Foods?
Yeah, so we knew we wanted to go to northern Michigan for this season, so we've just kind of been poking around. Obviously, both of us live here in southeast Michigan, and I think the people that know the community best in northern Michigan are the people that live there, right? So we have a friend up there, our former intern, actually, Ellie Katz. We asked her, hey, what is good up there? What are people talking about? Or what's something that you really love that people are not talking about? And she told us about Peshawbestown, Raphael Foods.
And in case you're wondering, Raphael Foods is spelled like Raphael,
Right.
Raphael.
So I called up Tanya. She's the owner of the food truck, and she works with her daughter Wasinade. And as we learn, a bunch of their other family work together on this food truck. So we went up to meet them.
And was this the first time you had a fry bread?
It is. So I know about fry bread through you and through watching Res Dogs on Hulu.
That's awesome.
So that's all I know about fry bread. But you really sold it, and I was really excited to try it. It's a Native American food, kind of traditionally with a complex history. It's a simple flatbread just made with flour, salt, baking powder, and water. Some people don't even use baking powder. People have slight variations of it. And then you fry it until it's golden and puffy. And it's crispy on the outside and really soft and fluffy on the inside. Like you said, it can be eaten simply with powdered sugar and honey, or as we're going to hear, like an Indian taco with all the fixins.
Okay, I'm excited to hear what you thought of it. Take it away.
Okay, we're in Peshawbestown, relatively small community. So this is part, right, of the Grand Traverse Band reservation land. What do I need to know about living here, growing up here, what the community is like? What do you want folks to know?
I grew up here pretty much my whole life. I was born down in Grand Rapids. I think it's just the water. I think the water is what makes it so beautiful and welcoming here. I mean, it's even in the wintertime, because you can always be out there fishing, or, in the summertime you're out there swimming. But I think it's just coming here is just beautiful.
Yeah, I came from the city. I grew up there. I always wanted to get my kids out of the city. And it's really calm up here. It's peaceful. And, at first when I moved up here, I'd have anxiety attacks. I'd have to go home, take off back to Grand Rapids, and then come back just because I wasn't used to the quietness. But no, it's very peaceful. I mean, everybody, our friends and family, they help take care of the kids. The kids can go anywhere in any of these little towns, and if they're being mischief, or they'll call you and just say, hey, so-and-so's down here. And even some of the restaurants, like down in Northport, and the kids are down there running around, and they'll go in there and they'll feed them, and which is nice, and I would never go back to the city and live. This is our home.
Their food truck is parked across the street from a Catholic parish and the Grand Traverse Band Tribal Court on the main road. And it's a work of art. On one side is this really colorful painting. There's an indigenous woman holding up the globe, which branches out to these huge flowers.
If you look at it, you can see it shaped as like a basket, native basket. It has a bear on the back, which represents my clan. There's birch bark trees, floral designs, which we're more floral people.
I think there's a river going through there. It just kind of represents who we are as our native culture.
They tow the truck to powwows all over northern Michigan where folks line up for their fry bread.
Our fry bread is big. It's almost like a size of probably an 8.5-inch plate. So, I mean, they can get pretty big.
And they're thick.
Yeah.
They're like, when we describe them, we describe it as like an elephant ear, just not as big. It's smaller and it's thicker. So it's like more of a fluffier type of elephant ear, but just fry bread.
Traditionally, though, where fry bread came from is back when they put natives on the reservations, they handed out the commodities. And flour was one of those commodities, and the women made food out of whatever they had. So fry bread is not a traditional dish. However, as years went by, it's traditionally made in homes, cultural events, ceremonial events.
So, out of resilience, fry bread was born. Tanya learned how to cook traditional Native American foods from her mom.
My culinary background is all from my mom's kitchen. My grandma, she cooked my grandma's recipes, but I don't ever remember seeing my grandma cook. But all my recipes that I have are my mom's recipe, with the exception of the fry bread and corn soup.
Tell me about how many people you expect to see throughout the day, and like what is the clientele like? Like, is it a lot of tourists up here? Is it a lot of locals? Like, who are you seeing?
We're actually seeing a lot of both right now. The tourists just started coming from the last holiday. But there are a lot of locals. We call locals as far as Benzie, because we have people that will drive up here, which is probably about an hour.
And a half, yeah.
But we also have people that come from Petoskey, Harbor Springs area. They'll call and say, hey, we're on our way. And they get big orders because they want to take them back. So it's nice to see them. So it's a variety, locals and tourists.
Who all works on the truck and in the catering with you?
Oh my gosh. So there's me and there's Wasinade. We have my niece Kaylin, my daughter Winona, my other niece Lily. I have my grandsons that I'll throw in there. We call them Wubsy and Gokshay. And then my other son Caden. I have my sister Gina, my niece. I mean, it goes on and on. My husband's my mechanic.
Do you remember the first powwow you went to with the truck? Like, do you remember the first one and what was it like?
The very first one that we went in that box, was Mount Pleasant powwow. And that powwow is huge in Michigan. And I think there was probably about 12 to 15 other food vendors. We did very well, but we were very busy too. And that's why we wanted to move to a bigger food truck, is because we've got people that are calling, where are you going next? Where are you going to set up? Are you going to have this? Do you have corn soup?
It's like they just wanted to be at the powwow that we were going to be at, just so they could get their favorite item on the menu. I mean, and we've had just long lines that people waited 2 hours in just to get our food. So, it's definitely a big hit out there. Yeah.
Is fry bread one of those things where, like, everyone says, my mom makes the best fry bread, or my fry bread recipe is the best fry bread recipe? Is it like that?
Yes, it is like that. I mean, we can go to powwows, and some powwows will have fry bread contests. I entered one time, and I took second place at Mount Pleasant powwow. But you can also tell whose is whose. So, like, if you're going to an event and you see it and say, oh, yep, that's Monica's bread, or nope, that's Tanya's bread, and you can tell. Everybody has that secret. Well, it's not even a secret. They make it different. Like, I make mine with yeast and baking powder. And I was taught by my husband's cousin, Monica. She taught me how to do yeast. So I went and I put the yeast and the baking powder together. And that's how I've been doing it ever since.
Some people don't use baking powder or yeast at all. And some people use evaporated milk or sugar in their dough for a different flavor and texture.
We always have our food here, so it's nice when we go out and get somebody else's foods, and it tastes different, you know. It's nice to get somebody else's. I mean, and it's the same for them too. Like when we're at powwows, they come over and get our food too. So it's something different.
Time for a break. When we come back, Tanya whips up an Indian taco for us.
It's funny, you know, sometimes people will come here and they'll get an Indian taco and they'll see us make it and they'll say, oh, wow, we didn't know it was that big. Yeah. And then we'll give it to them and I just tell them, good luck.
The Senate could vote any day now to revoke 2 years of funding for every public radio and TV station in America, including Michigan Public. For us, that's over $1 million lost. Make your voice heard at protectmypublicmedia.org.
Fry bread is definitely the star on the menu at Raphael Foods.
So in this dough, I mean, it's a very simple recipe. It's got your baking powder, your yeast, sugar, and your water. That's it. I used to do powder milk. I used to do some salt. And then I got away from that and just started going really easy and basic stuff.
There's also a burger on fry bread, Spam on fry bread. There's blanket dogs, so think hot dogs wrapped and deep fried in that fry bread dough. There's poutine, fries, and of course, the fry bread taco or Indian taco. Okay, we're here today to try the Indian taco. What do I need to know? What goes into it? What do you like about it?
Okay, so the Indian taco, what we're going to do is we're going to have a chili mix. And we're going to put it all over the top of it. And then we're just going to build it with your lettuce, cheese, tomatoes. If you like jalapenos, then you can have that, and onions, and sour cream. And then...
Yeah, it's not your average taco. So when people actually come to the food truck, they think it's like a hands-on taco that you can eat. But it's big. So it's definitely a fork and knife situation that you have to eat with.
You load it up. This is like a big dish.
Yeah, it's funny, you know, sometimes people will come here and they'll get an Indian taco and they'll see us make it and they'll say, oh, wow, we didn't know it was that big. Yeah. And then we'll give it to them and I just tell them, good luck. Yeah. And then we'll see them down in the parking lot. They're just sitting there eating it and just look like they're really enjoying themselves.
That's about to be me. I'm excited to try it. Shall we cook?
All right, let's go.
Cool. I joined Tanya and Wasinade in the food truck to first see how the fry bread is made.
I'm going to cook the fry bread here, and then we'll build it over there.
On one side, there are 2 large fryers, and on the other side is a large tub with dough in it. The dough is sticky, similar to pizza dough, similar color too. So Tanya uses oil on her hands to form a ball about the size of a fist. And what are you doing now?
So I'm stretching it right now, trying to get my fry bread piece. And once I get the size that I want, then I'll just pop a hole in it so I can throw it in the grease. try and keep it a circle. It doesn't always happen. So we're gonna cook it like this. You can usually start seeing it brown on your edges. Then you know it's time to flip it. Try not to keep flipping it, because then it's just gonna start soaking up all that grease.
And it's getting pretty fluffy.
Yeah.
When we do the breads like at powwows, we probably have 6 in here and then 4 going in the other fryer over there. We're just constantly throwing bread in there and flipping, and it's a non-stop, just go, go, go.
This one looks like it's getting brown over there a little bit.
Are you looking for like golden brown?
I am.
So you've got the fry bread.
So this is the fry bread, and then this is the chili mix that we use.
The fry bread is about 8 inches across and maybe 1 inch to 1.5 inches thick. So this is like a thick piece of bread. On top, Tanya adds her chili mix of meat and beans, and then she layers on cheese, tomatoes, onions, and drizzles the sour cream to top it off. Yeah, I don't know how anyone would eat this with one hand. You're right, it's a fork and knife ordeal.
Yeah. And then it's funny because they say, well, I'm just going to eat on the way.
No.
That's not happening.
This is like a towering plate of food.
Yeah.
Like the bread itself is pretty thick.
Yeah.
That was a hefty scoop of chili.
Yeah, and that's why I like using the chili mix with the juice, so it can help absorb that.
I don't know where to start. I'm gonna go right in the side. Oh, dude. I thought I was taking a small bite, right? But the fry bread is so thick and fluffy. Like I thought you would think it kind of punches down in your mouth, but it kind of doesn't. Like it almost expands in your mouth. It's so fluffy. Like not in the way that Japanese milk bread, right? When you punch that down, that bread punches down, but this does not. That's good. That's good chili. To go with the fry bread taco, Tanya brings us a side of her special corn soup. And she says this has been in high demand this week. Tell me about what's in the corn soup.
Okay, so Uncle Buddy, he made the corn soup in the community. As he was getting older and wanted to retire from that, I was always interested in his corn soup, making his corn soup. It's Indian corn, and you take that corn and you cook it, boil it in ashes. So I use maple wood, only the hardwood, and I will boil it until the skin comes off the corn, and then you want to dump that on a screen, and you just scrub. So now you're washing this corn, and then after that process is over, you dry it, and then you cook it. So if I was to describe it, I would say if you know what hominy looks like, it's very similar, but it's multicolor. So Uncle Buddy always made his with a pork roast and some red beans, and it's good. He's my favorite critic. He will call me and tell me whether I'm missing something, or if I need to do something different, or I'm not paying attention, or you should know this by now. He just called me the other day and left a message and told me that I finally have it.
Congratulations. That's a big deal.
So, yeah, he...
But that was just for that day, because the next day can change where you don't have it down yet.
So do you do it with the pork roast and the red bean?
Yeah, I do it with a pork roast. So Uncle Buddy used to get his Indian corn from this farmer in Kingsley. And when he stopped doing it, I wanted to continue the tradition of how he did it, where he got it, everything about what he did. I wanted to do it the same. So me and my youngest daughter, where's over there? Uncle Buddy, where is this family at? And he goes, they're in Kingsley. And I said, well, I need the number. I need to get a hold of them. And he couldn't remember. So me and my daughter went over to Kingsley and just started, do you know this person? Do you know this person? And with literally a half hour, I had tracked the person down. So now we get our corn from them. So I was really excited to call Uncle Buddy and tell them that I found them, and they're going to start providing the corn to us just like they did him. And we're actually planning a weekend that we can go over there and ash with him, because he doesn't ash anymore. So we just want to spend time with him and acknowledge the gift that he gave us, and he can either tell us again what we're not doing it. His number one rule is that when you're washing that corn, if that corn is not squeaky clean, then it's not washed, and you just keep scrubbing.
So you're not trying to experiment here. Like, you're looking to get these dishes the way that family does them.
Yeah. That's always been the rule. I'm not trying to invent anything. I'm just trying to provide food that people like and want to eat.
You can follow Raphael Foods on Facebook for their operating hours and to find out what's on the menu this week. Again, they are up Suttons Bay, just across the street from the Grand Traverse Bay Tribal Court on Northwest Bayshore Drive. Thank you so much to Wasinade and Tanya for their delicious fry bread and for their hospitality.
That was producer Ronia Kabansag. You can find bonus photos and videos from our travels to Raphael Foods at michiganpublic.org/thedish and on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Michigan Public. Next month, we have another story from Northern Michigan. The guys over at Crocodile Palace in Traverse City are cooking up Sichuan dishes for those who like the heat and also for those who just want to keep it mild. Stay tuned for that on The Next Dish. If you would like to dish with us, tell us about a culinary creative in your area. You can send your idea to thedish@michiganpublic.org. Today's episode was produced and mixed by me, Mercedes Mejia, edited by Ronia Kabansag and Laura Weber Davis. Music on today's episode comes from Blue Dot Sessions. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.